right, looks like the numbers are starting to slow down. So you ready to get started, Leslie?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So again, Leslie and I are super excited to be walking you guys through, really exciting things that are going to be happening with Sideline HD teaming up with Sports Recruits and sharing in-game video to be added to your Sports Recruits profile. So before we get started here, we do always like to introduce ourselves so you guys know who you're working with. My name's Emily. I'm the head of student athlete success over here at Sports Recruits. So what that means is I work with our customer success specialist team. I work with our recruiting analyst team, and I also work with our sales team. Really excited to talk about tonight's webinar and really talk about how this video is going to be really, really effective in your recruiting process to really help you gain exposure from college coaches. And then a little bit about my recruiting process. I was strictly looking Division III. I ended up playing basketball at Franklin and Marshall College. And during my time there, I worked in the athletic department, and I also worked with various teams and was the assistant to the associate athletic director.
Awesome. So I'm Leslie Hagelberg, and I'm an ambassador for Sideline HD. I've been an ambassador with Sideline HD for about 3 years officially. Unofficially, you can add a couple more to that. So about 5 years streaming with Sideline HD. I take on multiple roles really at Sideline HD, but my passion at Sideline HD is really our users. Some of my favorite conversations, I enjoy networking and engaging with our families, athletes, and just really working hard to ensure that they're successful streaming. So
Awesome. Great. So also too, more logistics. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to write them in the Q&A section. We did carve out time at the end of tonight's presentation to answer a few questions, and maybe we can answer some questions during the presentation as well. But for tonight's agenda, first, what we're going to do is I'm really just going to walk you through the importance of video. No matter where you are in your recruiting process, in this day and age, video is a must. Then Leslie is going to talk about how Sideline HD captures and then how they share in-game video. From there, I'm going to talk about how you can use that video from Sideline HD to create a highlight reel on Sports Recruits and how to create an effective one to really grab a college coach's attention. After you make that video, it's not advantageous to let that sit on your profile. You need to reach out to college coaches, let them know who you are, and get it on their feeds. And then finally, we're going to end with some questions. So the importance of video. So here at Sports Recruits, we like to back everything up with data. So college coaches are 11 times more likely to send messages to athletes with video on their Sports Recruits profile than those without. College coaches, they can't be everywhere all at once. So having an online presence and having video on your Sports Recruits profile is going to give them something to evaluate, to know, okay, hey, I'd love to see Emily play live. I want to invite her to a camp. I don't know, maybe I should ask her for a different video. So even if you're sitting here and you're like, Emily, I don't even have a highlight reel, any video is better than none. Even if it's raw footage, get it on your Sports Recruits profile. And then another stat we have, Sports Recruits athletes with video are 3 times more likely to commit than athletes without video. So again, you need video to move your recruiting process further along. So why is video so important? And I'm just going to keep saying this because it is really important. It's the trailer to the movie that is your athletic ability. It gives college coaches a taste of your skills, your technique, and who you are as an athlete. Coaches cannot be everywhere at once. It's expensive. They can't be at every event. So having video makes it really, really easy for them to maybe take that next step instead of having to travel in and see you in person. And video is just really a great resource to get on a college coach's radar. It's a great excuse to reach out to a college coach when you do have updated video. Hey, coach, I just went to this tournament. Check out my video and, let me know if you have any feedback. And then finally, as I said, video is important, but really just having an online presence. Think of this as your resume, your SportsRecruits profile. College coaches want to be able to easily look up student athletes and be able to know everything from their athletic information, their contact information, their video, and their academic information. What's so great with your SportsRecruits profile is it hosts everything, that academic, the athletic, and the video. And it really just makes it easier for college coaches to evaluate you. So instead of messaging college coaches all of this information on your profile, all you need to do is say, hey, check out my SportsRecruits profile, and there it all is for them, instead of a really long, overwhelming email. It's really just a great place for them to see everything all together.
Great. Hi. Okay, great. So we're going to talk about just briefly, I'm going to give you a little introduction to Sideline HD. There you go. Thank you. Introduction to Sideline HD, as we discussed how to capture in-game video. Currently, Sideline HD, we're like a live streaming platform, and we currently stream for and offer scoreboards for 8 sports. We cover softball and baseball, soccer, hockey, lacrosse, volleyball, basketball, and water polo. And when you're looking at these 4 images here on the screen, what you're getting here is really 2 things. You've got live streams going out to families, and behind the scenes, you have highlight clips being generated for everyone on the team. The great thing about this is it's all driven by one parent who, in our team, we like to refer to as the hero for the team. So Sideline HD really helps parents create ESPN style live streams. What you're looking at on the screen here is just a snippet of a live baseball game. You'll notice at the top, you have the scoreboards and score. The lineup is listed below the score. And then you have sometimes the weather will circulate in different items on the top. Down at the bottom, you will see like what we like to call our player profiles. Those will rotate through. You can add a photo for a player. You can add graduation year, different stats, etc. There's a person right there with a picture. In the bottom right-hand corner, you can add a spot, like you can add your logo for your team. We also allow teams to add sponsor logos, just as another way to earn revenue for their team. So, okay. All right, looking here, here's our different streaming destinations that we currently offer. One of the benefits of Sideline HD is that these streams, they're going to go out to your community. On the left, you're seeing a Facebook page. It's an example with, normal page activity, just the everyday run-of-the-mill stuff. You'll see player props, people talking about players. You're going to see fundraising, schedules, if they're having tryouts, etc., with just a little bit of Sideline HD magic sprinkled in with their live streams. So Facebook's a great place for our families and teams to stream because it's a free place to stream. It's free to watch, and you're basically streaming to where your team community is already living and where they're already following. So it's really easy to find the next game. On the right-hand side is another one of our streaming destinations. It's an example of a team's YouTube page. YouTube, it's a great option for streaming because you can cast that to any smart TV. I like the flexibility on YouTube for jumping to certain spots of the game, and a lot of our fans enjoy streaming to YouTube as well. One of the questions, I made a note here, one of the questions that comes up commonly is there's a misconception that you have to have a certain number of subscribers. At one point it was 1,000, and now I think it's 50 to stream. But no, with Sideline HD, you don't need that, but just don't be surprised when you have 50 in no time, when you start putting in-game context out there. So next I want to jump to talking about kind of game day and the nitty-gritty of capturing that in-game video. So on game day, what are you loading in your go bag for game day? My number one reply here when people start asking me, hey, what camera should I use? What suggestions? And they want to go to like a very detailed, setup that can be, one, expensive or a lot of connections. I really suggest to everyone, when you're just getting started, really keep it simple. Use what you have, save some money. Everyone has a smartphone or a tablet, and it's a great option. In fact, a lot of times, your players active in the game, and you have something that you can borrow from them to use just to get the stream going. That's what I do, actually. The camera tech in the iPhones and Androids now, it's really good. The camera filter, not the filters, but the zoom functionality and different lenses. It's pretty amazing, and it really blows a lot of the other live streaming options away. When you're streaming, what you're seeing on the screen on the far right is, I believe that's a link spider. But if you're at a baseball or softball field, have something to mount your phone or device with. A mount works well. You might want a tripod. So if you're at the field, consider something like a link spider or a fence clip to help mount your phone. If it's those pesky nets that just blow in the breeze and get right in the way all the time, sometimes backing up a little bit from the field and using a tripod, or some success with like a magnet mount that can be stuck on side of the fence pole can actually work and might be a better option for you. Generally, everybody these days, if you go to conferences, about 2 years ago, I feel like every gift that I got was a portable cell phone charger. Charge those babies up. We want to recharge those chargers. They come in handy on busy days when you're trying to like move field to field or match to match. You've got more than one game. Chances are, it does drain your battery when you're streaming. So you need something to keep those batteries charged. Something to be aware of if you're outside or if the gym is super hot, much like the volleyball court I was at inside on Tuesday, it was very hot in there. You might need something to keep your device cool. When you're streaming, it does generate some heat. So I recommend, if you're outside, I use like a white hand towel to kind of drape over and take that direct sunlight off the camera. Or you can even find something like a cell phone cooler. If you search on Amazon or anywhere, they have these pretty neat things that stick to the back of the cell phone that keep that thing ice cold. So that's a good option as well. Last, I just want to talk a little bit about how to score with Sideline HD. We have two options on our platform for our baseball and softball streamers. One option for all the other sports. You can use Sideline Score, or you can use iScore. As you saw on the previous slide, the scoreboard was on screen. That's being ran again by a parent. They're streaming with one phone, they're scoring with another. And our in-house scoring app is what we call Sideline Score. It's very easy to run. It's right there for baseball and softball in the picture. It's easy to run. It provides all the detail we need to generate very great highlight clips. And your parents and families and friends at home, they get that added in-game context. They know what's going on, in the game. We pride ourselves with the catchphrase of never miss a moment, and we definitely capture every plate appearance, every point served, goal scored for your whole game and match for everyone on the court or field. It's, like I said, again, it's a parent streaming typically with a smartphone. Some people prefer like an iPad to use as well. Another option, with Sideline HD for our baseball and softball users, is iScore, which is a scoring app that has been around quite some time. You can use that to score and get full game statistics and have any kind of breakdowns that you need. And do, those coincide. So you're scoring with iScore and it's generating those highlight clips, and it's populating our scoreboard seamlessly. So that's just something to keep. I kind of want to jump in now to talk about our personalized highlights. Sideline HD, this is something that, our users, they love Sideline HD's highlights, and it's going to be important with our integration here coming up with SportsRecruits. Sideline HD generates personalized highlights for like every person on the team, as I mentioned, And as the screen scrolls here on the right-hand side, what you're viewing here is actually our social media interns highlights. Her name is Kirsten, and she's headed to Rider University. I'm proud to say she's also a SportsRecruits user as well. So she has her little mark on her profile to say she's committed. But you're going to see here, every clip is available, and every clip has something very distinct. It has a download or share button. You can download and share every clip anytime you want. You'll see an option here, like as we filter through, there's an example of downloading. What we're looking at right now is her player profile. And if you click over right now, we're on her defense tab. So kind of just scrolling through. Kirsten had a double play. That was pretty awesome. She was at shortstop, made a circle turn, and I just pinned that clip in this example. And that forks that clip over to her highlights page. Here's an example of her clip again, and just kind of filtering through. If you, the star, you might have seen in the video as it played through, you might have seen the star of the clip, and a little pop-up pops up and says you pinned a highlight. Keep close watch on that star right there. That's going to be important as the integration with SportsRecruits comes to fruition. So that's going to automatically and seamlessly, you pin that highlight on Sideline HD, it's going to load right into your SportsRecruits profile. So that's something we're really excited about to offer our users. So I want to talk just a little bit more. So mostly the topic today is in-game video and you know what's generated in-game, but we do also offer some post-game features as well for all the sports. You're looking at a baseball, softball post-game slide here, really to kind of show you. We have AI generated highlights, you know, with different options. We offer newspaper recaps. There's our AI ball contact summary that we call Hit Scope. So there's a few toggles on that page. You can look at batted balls, you can look at contact only, and it quickly shows, you know, basically when you're making contact with the ball, you can scroll through and clip and click to jump to a specific play, etc. And right from there, you can actually download the video for your hit scope. And then in the game summary on the left, that is often something we see on social media pages for our teams. Like I was showing you earlier, they like to use those because that's the best of the game for all the players. So we often find those there. Anyway, I think that's really all I had to cover today specific to capturing in-game video. So I'm going to let Emily go ahead and discuss how to make a highlight reel with SportsRecruits.
Muted there. Awesome. Thanks, Leslie. Really interesting stuff. And I did just want to briefly go back to that integration that Leslie spoke about. So in the upcoming months, as Leslie said, you're going to be able to push over your highlights and really any video from Sideline HD right to your SportsRecruits profile. Now, some people may be sitting here and saying, Emily, I don't have a SportsRecruits profile yet. That's totally fine. If you do want to push video over there, you're able to create a brand new one and then really get your presence out there for college coaches to see. So with this integration, you're going to be able to create highlights on SportsRecruits with our free highlight reel editor. Your video is going to go onto college coaches' discovery feeds, and you can get it on your profile for college coaches to start viewing as well. So like I said, this will be happening in the upcoming months, and we're really, really excited about it because, as I said, coaches need to see video. You don't want to just, you know, keep it like hidden somewhere. You want to get it where college coaches will be able to view it. So once you do have that video from Sideline HD, and as I said, that integration won't be coming for a few months, but as Leslie showed, you can download your highlights and upload them onto SportsRecruits. You're able to upload an unlimited amount of video. So if you want to do that in the meantime, you can do that now. But with any video that you have, highlight reel is really important for college coaches to be able to see your skills and to see where you're playing the best. So what should go into an effective highlight reel? First is showing your game IQ. showing plays where, coaches are able to see the full field or court, and see what's going on, not just with you, but with your other teammates. You want to make sure you're showing versatile clips, athleticism, and you want to make sure that you're showing your best clips. Here at SportsRecruits, we tell student athletes when they're going through their footage, they should be ranking it from 1 to 5 stars. 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. You should only be including 4 or 5 stars in that highlight reel. And if you're thinking, Emily, I only have like 6 or 7 clips that are 4 or 5 stars, that's totally fine. College coaches would rather watch something that's short and sweet than something that's very long and it's not your best clips. Other things to be added in there are isolation effects, and then also a title card with basic info. Again, you just need that basic info. You don't need all of your accolades and things like that, because that's what your SportsRecruits profile is for. And I'm going to repeat myself here, but what should not go into that video? All of your recruiting information. That's why you have the profile. College coaches don't want to sit there and read 3 or 4 slides with all of those accolades. Only include those 4 or 5 star clips. Keep it short, sweet. College coaches aren't going to watch a 5-minute highlight reel. We found that sweet spot to be around 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Poor quality footage. As Leslie said, you don't need the best camera in the world. Your phone can work, your tablet can work. Just make sure you're capturing it at the right angle. In terms of with the highlight reel, you want to make sure you're not showing the same skill over and over again. So for example, if you're a lacrosse player, you don't, and you're an attack, obviously you score goals, but there's other things you do as well. You have assists, you have ground balls, you have defensive plays. So make sure that you're showing a variety of different skills so college coaches can know who you are as a complete athlete. And then finally, deceiving video effects. Some student athletes want to throw like lightning bolts or slow motion. You really don't need to get that fancy. College coaches just want to see the play and they want to make sure that they can see you as well. How should you pick the best clips? So we really encourage student athletes to be the one to review the footage, and we definitely encourage you to review as you go. So, as Leslie was saying, that video gets added very quickly. Maybe it's after a tournament, after a high school game. You sit down after that, take the time and go through the footage. Don't let that pile up to the end of the season or the end of the summer, because that's going to take a very long time to go through. And the reason why we say that the athlete should be the one to review the footage is because when you're playing best, and you're going to have to do film review when you're in college. So better to start doing that now. Again, we've already talked about it, using that 5-star system and only including those 4 and 5-star clips. And definitely be honest with yourself. If you feel like maybe something's a 3-star clip or it could be a 4-star clip, ask your parent, guardian, sibling, your coach, your trainer, and see what they think. Short and sweet. I was 2 seconds off there. The average viewing time is 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So we've got that down to about 15 or 20 clips. Another thing that's really important is the order. So as I was mentioning earlier, we don't know if a college coach is even going to finish out a reel. They're not going to sit there for 5 minutes. So you want to put all of your best clips in the beginning to really draw that college coach in to finish out that highlight reel. So with the SportsRecruits profile, we do have a tool on there with our highlight reel editor that is for free. So if you're a free user or pro user, and with that upcoming integration with SidelineHD, you can take that footage from Sideline, get it connected to your SportsRecruits profile, and then you're able to create a free highlight reel right on the platform. The reels can be published directly to your profile, and they can also be published to your video library, where you can download that video and do with it what you wish. If you want to put it on YouTube, if you want to put it on your Instagram, after you create it in SportsRecruits, you can download it and do with it what you want. But that's all able to be done right on the SportsRecruits platform. We also have an option for a professional highlight reel, where we have an in-house post-production team where they throw in isolation effects for you. They throw in a title card, and you could throw in music if you want. To be honest, most coaches that I talk to, they usually mute it, and usually student athletes just like the music for themselves. If you do want to add music, just make sure it's appropriate. Yeah, and then published reels created using the highlight reel editor can then be submitted to the post-production team to start adding those additional features. So this is an additional cost. It's $250. So you have this option, or you can create it on your own right on the highlight reel editor. So, we talked about having video. It's so important, how to put together an effective highlight reel, but it's not advantageous to put together that video and just think that college coaches are going to come watch it, think they're going to stumble upon this highlight reel. So it's really important that you're reaching out to college coaches with the video. So with the SportsRecruits Pro subscription, you're able to reach out to college coaches directly through our messaging system. So the way the messaging system works, it's based on your gender and your sport. So let's say you're a women's volleyball player and you want to reach out to Clemson. So all you need to do in the to section is type in Clemson, and a drop down is going to appear with the college coach's name. You simply click on that name and it automatically embeds the email for you, and you can start sending your message. If you are using the messaging system and there's a few college coaches on that staff, I recommend emailing the full staff, just because you never know who's in charge of the recruiting process. It could be the head coach or it could be the assistant coach. Now, once you figure out who you want to send your message to, as you can see, there's a link embedded in every single message that you send. So this link is special. Whenever a college coach clicks this, they get logged in and they're taken directly to your SportsRecruits profile, where you're able to see all in real time who's viewing your profile, watching your video, or opening up your transcript. This transparency is amazing, right? If you're using your Gmail, you could send a message and then it's just, you don't know what happens next. You don't know if they read the information, but with SportsRecruits, you're able to see, okay, who's taking the time to look at my account and learn more about me. And something else to keep in mind, all messages are delivered directly to college coaches' inbox, and it looks like any other message. If you're interested to seeing exactly what it looks like when it hits a college coach's inbox, we have a help desk article. If you go to the SportsRecruits help desk and type that into the search bar, you'll be able to see that video. And yeah, as I was saying before, this tracking view feature also comes with a pro account, is really, really valuable. You're able to see who's taking the time to view your profile, watch your video, open up your transcript, or even open up your press link. So all of this information flows onto your SportsRecruits activity feed, but you also get a text message and an email whenever this happens.
Emily, can I ask a question here?
Yeah.
So on your last slide there, where athletes are able to email, etc. There are I know with certain divisions there are certain requirements where coaches cannot necessarily reach back out or say anything to an athlete. So do you see a lot of younger athletes utilize this, and then do they secretly kind of figure out who is looking at their emails at least?
Yeah, that's a great question. So Leslie brings up a good point. So there are recruiting rules for college coaches. However, there are no recruiting rules for student athletes, and they can reach out at any time in their process. Division III, college coaches can reach out whenever. Division II, it's June 15th going into your junior year. Division I, it's either June 15th or September 1st. Or now August 1st, going into your junior year, depending on your sport. But, I just did a webinar last night about the importance of September 1st. And what I tell student athletes is that's not the date when your recruiting process starts. It's when you see all your hard work pay off. So if you're looking to play at those higher levels, you should, as a freshman, be reaching out to college coaches, letting them know who you are and why you're interested in their program. And yeah, they can't respond, but they can look at your profile and you will be able to see that.
That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really powerful to be able to know who's taking the time to look at you. And, I just walked through all of the student athletes features, but we have a college coach side of the platform as well. So every college coach is able to log into their SportsRecruits account, and they have what's called an athlete discovery feed, as you can see from this picture on the right. So with the Sideline HD integration and you connecting video to your SportsRecruits profile, you are going to appear higher in a college coach's search than someone who doesn't. So that's what's so great about this. As soon as you make that connection with Sideline HD and SportsRecruits, make sure your video is visible so you can also appear on college coaches' discovery feeds. So just to walk you through how that discovery feed works for them, they're able to search for athletes based on a bunch of different criteria. First one has video. They want to see student athletes who have video on their profile. There's an interested box, if you see right there. So with the SportsRecruits profile, we have an advanced school search tool where you're able to search for schools based on certain criteria. So if you favorite a school, you will now be in the interested bucket when the college coach comes into their athlete discovery feed. So it's really advantageous for you to use that feature, favorite the schools that you're interested in, because college coaches will be able to know if you have interest, if you have hearted their program on SportsRecruits. They're also able to look based on GPA, position, class year. So it's really important you're filling out your profile as best as you can, getting that video connected, because then you will appear higher on college coaches' searches. But yeah, this is exactly what it looks like when a college coach is to log on and start searching for student athletes.
Hey, Emily, we do have a question that you might want to touch on there. Oh, well, perfect timing. Good segue.
Yeah.
Somebody I think asked specific to that, if a coach doesn't log on to the SportsRecruit service or something, like based on what you're explaining, they still get the email.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't need to log into SportsRecruits. It goes directly to their school's Gmail account.
Okay.
What they can do is they can log on to SportsRecruits and go to the discovery feed, but they're still able to see your profile without being logged in.
And the profiles are like public URL, right? Is that true?
So that's a great question. So we do hide, if you were to Google yourself, if you have a SportsRecruits profile, you were to Google yourself, you're not going to see full information just for privacy reasons,
Right.
but you will see video, you will see grad year, position. There's just but you don't see, like, you don't have access to your
Contact information and
yes.
all
Yeah.
that.
For instance, that we have some privacy issues with that. So, but you do see a big chunk of information.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. I think one other question came in here. Will we get a copy of this meeting? We will email you a recording of this webinar. It will also be posted on the SportsRecruits YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of questions that came in and I tried to answer. One is like, is Sideline HD free for SportsRecruits members? Sideline HD is actually free to stream. There's actually no cost on the platform to use Sideline HD. It will always be free to stream. So
yeah, and with SportsRecruits, we have a free version and we also have a pro version. So there's different tools that you have access to. So as a free user, you have access to fill out that profile. You have access to those video tools I showed. You have access to the advanced school search tool as well. With a pro account, the only additional features you have access to is the messaging system I showed, and then also being able to see who's coming to your profile, watching your video, or opening up your transcripts.
Looks like one more question just came in
Yeah.
about how to get started with Sports Recruits and Sideline HD. For Sideline HD, I can take that, obviously. You can go to sidelinehd.com and create a profile. Currently, we use Google or Facebook as a login for that profile. If you don't have Google, it's free. Google's free. You can set up an email and log in with a Gmail. And it's at sidelinehd.com. You're not going to find us in the App Store. We are fully web-based, which means you can use, like, on your phone, Safari or a browser to find Sideline HD and log in. And then Sports Recruits was part of the other question.
And with Sports Recruits, you just head to sportsrecruits.com and you can create a profile right through there. Takes a few minutes. It can be any email address. You just make sure you're choosing the correct sport and the correct gender, and you can get set up within minutes and take a look at that free version and play around with that. Awesome. That looks like all the questions that we have for tonight. Again, Leslie and I really appreciate you guys coming. We're really excited for this integration to happen within the next few months. And yeah, if you guys have any questions about this, whether it's Sideline or SportsRecruits, I know the SportsRecruits, if you have questions about that, you can email help@sportsrecruits.com. And then Leslie, what's your guys?
You can email me, Leslie, at SportsRecruit or at sidelinehd.com. Don't try SportsRecruits. sidelinehd.com. So.
Okay, perfect. Again, guys, thanks so much for joining, and you will be emailed a recording of this webinar, and reach out if you guys have any questions.
Thanks so much, Emily.
Bye, guys. Thanks, Leslie.